Hey everyone, welcome back to another tactics video for 2 Plus. We today want to look at heals and using heals to your advantage, and in particular, in this instance, using a unit with compulsory movement or random movement to take advantage of the heal in multiple ways. So I'm playing John again, and I have a gigantic spawn of Nurgle right here. And due to the matchup, John has a lot of units that can choose to flee from my charges, and I knew his army in advance, but regardless, to me, I haven't been too impressed with the spawn as much as other people. What I found its best is being able to roll with its random movement into combats where the opponent might want to have fled and can't because it can't make that charge reaction from a charge that's been declared otherwise. So in this instance, I put this with the scenario having a hill in the middle. I wanted the spawn to be right in the middle to be able to access as many potential combats as possible, but also be obscured from line of sight from John's shooting. So I deployed in that way. He got the first turn, and I was very lucky to be able to roll a large enough number to do just that. I'm able to move, I think it was 14 inches, right up on the lip of this hill. So I've got that razor gore at the front, which is usually I use to flee if I need to, but it can also threaten these sort of skirmishing units. So that being on the hill, giving it that line of sight to anything it likes from its front arc. But the spawn being behind the hill is twofold. It is being hidden from some of the shooting by the rules of the hill, but also it's going to be able to roll over this hill, even though it can't see any units besides these shades here. It doesn't need to. With random movement, you can roll your 3d6 to see how far you go, and then it can sort of move into any of these units here or anything that pops up, as long as it can move that way with the other normal rules of its movement. So that's what I did. Again, I rolled very high, and I was very lucky to roll enough. And I had a lot of choice. And in the end, interestingly, we'll go back to, so I had these choices, as you saw. But in the end, I chose to attack the Witch Elves, thinking that I would be able to, he wouldn't get many attacks back, even though I had that front rank. And I would be able to stick there for my right flank where I'd done very well and hold a position and then hit them in the side. That's not how it turned out, and the spawn was beaten back, and it had probably cost me the game because John then took the hill, which was part of the scenario points. But what I was able to do was roll large enough that if he moves forward, I can then charge anything he likes. But even though he didn't move forward and stuff back, I had a large enough number that I was able to throw it into any one of these units I like. I chose the Witch Elves. It was poor, but I can't complain about the tactics putting me in that position. You can use your heals to be able to not only obscure line of sights, but set up potential charges where your opponent is damned if they do or damned if they don't. So I hope you learn a little bit more about heals today. I certainly learned a lot for good or for bad, but if you're carrying around items with random movement, particularly the strength of the spawn with its 3d6 random movement, think about hiding it behind a terrain feature such as a hill that blocks line of sight, because it might allow you to control a whole flank with other concepts like zoning, as we've discussed, with its very variable range of movement. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.